At the beginning of the film, we see two children who were siblings. The girl's name was Tony, and she was on a mission at this time. These two children were spy kids. Spy means spy children who secretly do missions with everyone. They are also called secret agents. After facing a lot of difficulties here, these children started feeling that we would not be able to solve this mission. Now the story comes from here, 24 hours ago, where both the children were at their home. And Tony steals some cards from a small locker. Now Tony's dad came here, who was also a spy. But he always kept his children away from gadgets. That is, mechanical, electronic tools, device machines, etc. His mom was also a spy. His mom and dad knew that we are spies, so anyone can enter our gadgets for this reason. Stealing cards can also be hacked. Today is their anniversary. That's why the two decide that we will tell our children today that we are spies. Because the children did not know this. But even after a lot of courage, they could not tell this to their children. After this, the two started going to their office. The senior agent gives them the mission that some strangers have entered their office. And now they have gone to the main system server room. Today's mission is to kill those strangers. Now here, Tony's dad has a watch, where there was such access control that he could enter any technology with the help of it. Then, no matter what the place in the world is and what kind of code is there, they could crack it and break it. And they could also decode it, change it, and finish it. The secret code that Tony's dad had was called Armageddon. These people go there as spies. They fought with their skills and killed 4 people. But then they remembered that these were 5 people. So where did the 5th go? They had to think that a robot came there by breaking the roof from above. This robot was actually Tony's dad's watch, in which there was an Armageddon code. By stealing it, he runs away from here. In school, Tony plays a great match and wins. He got control of the first stage of every game. That is, whenever a new game comes, Tony will play the first stage of it first. Now here in the tab, Tony introduces all the children to a game maker named King, who used to make very difficult games. Recently, he made a very good game whose name was High Score. And the robot who stole Tony's dad's watch gives that watch to King, because King had told him to do this. But now, when King checks the watch, he finds out that this watch is still incomplete. Because right now there is no half code of Armageddon in it, but it is somewhere else. Tony and his sister decide that we will play the game at 12 o'clock in the night. So a little before 12 o'clock, they went to the TV room with great difficulty. They quietly sit there and wait for 12 o'clock. Tony's mom was explaining to her husband that the watch had been stolen. So now we do this. We delete his Armageddon code, which his husband clearly refuses. And the head of the agents who was on the video call at the time also stopped doing this, because he had to say that it is a very important code, with the help of which a lot of missions get help. On which Tony's mom replies that it is fine. But if that code is in the wrong hands, then that person can enter every technology and destroy the world. Anyone can easily misuse it. But when her husband refuses to believe this, she also makes him conscious. And her fingerprint was about to delete the code through the fingerprints. That's when Tony logged into the King's game on his home system. That is, he started playing by running. With which it happened that the King came to know about it, and he hacked that code by keeping the system under his control. After doing this, he shut down the whole system. With which the children's game also stopped. Seeing this, the children thought that maybe there was some problem with the game. So we should go from here. That's why he came to his room from there. By then, Tony's dad was also conscious. His mom says that she thinks the code has been deleted. Then Tony's dad gets worried and says, "No, the code has not been deleted but has been hacked." He thinks that this is not the work of the children. That's why he goes to his room and checks. But the children had slept by then. The next day, it was found that the King had hacked all the systems of the half-world. That is, if you want to use any technology or log into your system, then first, you have to play the King's high-score game. you have to pass the first level of it. Whenever you could do this, these four were talking to each other about this. That's when the King's Game's cartoon character entered his house with his weapons and say attack here. But Tony's mom and dad started facing them. He kicks them, and destroys them. Meanwhile, Tony's sister opens the door, and these four came out. His mom says that we are going on a mission from here, and they are sending you to a safe house, which is a safe place for you in every way. Saying this, his mom and dad opened the door to the secret place in the basement. When they all went inside, there were different types of gadgets lying there, which included autobikes and autocars, which looked like a lot of modern technology. And it was running on its own as soon as it was in control. Now the children sit in a small car. His mom explains that until we return from the mission, you have to stay there. And the special thing there is to protect it. There is no danger there. I will also keep tracking your location again and again to check where you are at this time. As soon as they went, Tony's sister pressed the button, and these kids left from here. Then his mom and dad were also coming from behind the car. Now because the cartoons in the game show the children's autocar, that's why they follow them. In these cartoons, a lot of skeletons and donchas were also included. Now the car was moving quite fast here. Tony's sister was controlling the car system and driving it with great fun. Then finally, after tricking all the cartoons, they reach the place where the safe house is. As soon as they go to the door, they say their name. As soon as they say so, the door opens. Coming inside, they are quite stunned to see the strange view here. Here, they also found out that our mom and dad are also spies, which they have kept hidden until today, because their mom's 3D video was going on there. When they went further inside, there were such different things there. They got a room that was a training room. So the children train how to become better spies. Then Tony's mom and dad were kidnapped by the king and imprisoned in their own building. The place was like a jail. But everything in the jail was like a game. That means you are sitting on something or touching it. Then, like 3D things, they will move from there and roam around you. Now the king came in front of them. He tells them about himself. Your watch has come to me, but the Armageddon code is incomplete. And now you tell me half the code. After which, I will let you go from here. But they both clearly refuse to do this, which the king now challenges them to fight. Says that if you win this fight, then I will let you go from here. But if you lose, then you will have to tell half the code, with which the sword fight started between them. But because this whole place was moving in 3D, so it was very difficult for these two to stay in that place. That's why these two lose this fight with the king. Now the king's eyes fall on Tony's mom's neck. She was wearing a necklace. Seeing this, the king came to know where his children were. And where his children are, half the code will be there. On the other hand, the children were very happy to see different gadgets here. Not only that, you can also find the suits of the spy kids here, which they had also worn. Now, in search of more gadgets, you will find such a book, in which the principles of the spy kids were written. One of them was that a good spy always lies. But Tony's sister doesn't like these things. She says no, lying is wrong. A good spy can never lie. Now some people have come here, which was actually the group of agents. They also talk about themselves here, but because the children were very scared, that's why they don't open the door, on which the agents broke the door and came inside. That's why both the children started bothering them in different ways. They even kill the agents with the help of gadgets. But in a little while, the children found out. These are really agents who had come to take these two children to their base. So now the children come to the base with them. They stand outside and see a special kind of gadget, which could also walk like a ship in the water, and it could also fly in the air like a plane. Now both the children met the head of the agents, who tells them that I called you here. We are not able to log into our system. The reason is that there is a King's High Score game going on, which we are not able to cross. Now the children started playing that game. And for the first time they crossed this level, with which all the agents log into their system immediately. Now Tony's sister remembered what her mother had told her. We have to stay in a safe house. We have to take care of the important things there. Tony's sister always used to talk to her gadget. And today, she was also telling all this to the gadget. Now the gadget takes out the second part of the Armageddon code from itself, and these people had to take care of the same thing. Seeing this, the head of the agents says that you are children, so you can't take care of it. Do this, you give it to me. I will take good care of it. I will protect it well. But the next moment, the cartoon characters of the King's Game, who also had creatures this time, they attack here. They had wreaked havoc here. They started breaking everywhere, and they also started killing the agents. Many agents were killed after being hunted. And the biggest problem, they had also taken half of the code of Armageddon from here. Seeing this, Tony and his sister got angry. They think that nothing will happen to these agents. Now we have to do what we have to do. With this, both the children sit on the gadgets standing outside. They first made it a boat and ran it in the water. Then they made a plane and started flying in the air, and they start following those cartoons. After which, they came near the king's palace. Now they used to think that there was a wall in front. But soon they found out that it was a 3D wall, through which they enter. Tony's mother was trying to break out of jail again and again. And she was also telling her husband, if you had made the code of Armageddon, then you can break it, you can decode it, and finish it. So do it, which her husband tells her that the real thing is. That day when we were on a mission, at that time I had the formula for Armageddon. I stole that formula and brought it home. I tried many times but could never complete it. But one day, Tony came to the room, and he somehow completed the formula, and this code was completely ready. So I did not make it alone. Then how can I break it or decode it? Now they found out that Tony's dad, in front of whom he had said all this, he was not his wife. In fact, it was King, who took the form of his wife, and I made him say all these things. And now he brings the real Tony's mother here, who he had taken from here, and he says that it means now I have nothing to do with you. In fact, I have nothing to do with your children. Now the children were also coming to this palace, and roaming here and there. There were also cartoons and creatures from games here. Seeing this, these two hid behind the pillar. But then the creatures hear their voice, and they broke the pillar and started attacking them. Seeing this, Tony took his sister and jumped off the bridge. But before falling down, this gadget's mother hung there, after which he came up, and safely, he comes to his mom and dad. Their mom and dad, seeing the children in the form of spy kids, they become very happy. And also from this finally, our children have also come to know we are also spies. Our children are no less than heroes, who faced so many difficulties. And finally I entered the palace, and now if these people Armageddon's code, to stop it from spreading all over the world, then they will have to stop the king first. Here's what Tony's mom and dad say. Now we have to work like our first mission, which was our most successful mission. Tony's sister asked, what was so special about that mission? Which they both say, years ago we had stopped such a person. Who was going to destroy the whole world like King? We went to his base, destroyed there, then he killed his whole team. After doing this, we hacked his system, and then, finally, destroyed the whole building. 2 teams were made, and I left from there, to stop the king. Tony and his sister, I came to the place, where the main server system was kept. Tony says, if we change this system, then we will also break Armageddon's half code, with which the virus which King wants to spread all over the world, it will stop spreading. And to do this, obviously we have to log into it, for which King's Game will have to play. Now, although his sister, he also refused to do this, but finally, in this game, Armageddon's remaining half code by putting log into the game. But as soon as this happens, King came in front of them, who tells, that was all my plan. It was my own trap. I deliberately spread the virus everywhere, so that everyone gets scared. And now, because Tony I logged in here, so now Armageddon's code is complete. Which King wanted? he also tells that's your mom and dad. In their first mission, the person who was killed there was no one else, but my dad who wanted to bring change to the world. His plan, to fix the technology, to improve people. But what did your mom and dad do? Instead of giving them a chance, first, they killed him. On top of that, destroyed everything. And now, I will take revenge for that thing. Really, by spreading the virus all over the world. And if anyone will use the technology, I will log into their system. Then, before that, my high-scoring game I will have to play. Saying that, King, in his 3D plane, I came from here. In the meantime, here are his mom and dad. And everyone else also came, who was just watching him go, and to stop him. Now he didn't even have a chance, on which Tony's sister says no. Now we have a chance. To stop him? Now he is gone, away from this world, while in the game. He is still present. We do this. Let's go to the game and stop him there. If, before that, we won the game, then he won't be able to do anything. After which, listening to Tony's sister, they enter the game. They had taken the help of the robot, and they had also chosen their own characters. First of all, they had to cross the first level. And this was a hard level, because of which they had to face a lot of difficulties. But the whole family fighting with each other, and finally, they crossed that level and move forward. Here's Tony's sister, had played very well. That's why, by changing his suit, now he changes into a grand suit, which golden plates were attached. Now when they move forward, then Tony goes to fight the king, while everyone else fights with the king's monster robot. And here, between all of them, a great fight breaks out. These people began to attack the monster robot. There was a time when Tony's dad killed him. But his daughter, I refuse to do this. That please, don't do this. Because of which the monster robot begins to fall down. But on his daughter's request, his mom and dad saved the robot and pulled it up. Now seeing this, the monster robot understood. That girl is very good. That's why. He put down his sword in front of him, in the ground, and I bowed down in front of him. That means, now he won't harm anyone. In the fight, Tony was losing badly to the king. Seeing this, his dad, to help Tony, came to attack the king, but seeing this Tony, he refused to come to his dad. And a big hammer, which was coming to attack him. He took it on himself, and I fell down like this. All his powers were over. He was almost dead. But then everyone remembered. Tony went to fight by saying, I will play honestly, without cheating, and I won't do anything wrong. Because of his honesty, he got well again, because the real principle of the game was this: honesty. He now has a new chance, and a new power, using which he finally defeats the king. Now this made the king realize I shouldn't have made such a mistake. And we shouldn't spread wrong things everywhere. Because evil doesn't stay for long. That's why the virus, which was going to spread all over the world, stops it, after which all these games come out of the world and come back to the real world. That's when the team of agents comes here and tries to arrest the king. But seeing this, Tony and his sister stop the agents from doing this and start saying, we caught him, and now we will decide what to do about it. Tony's sister says we should leave him because now he has realized his mistake. And it's possible that he will improve, and others too, with which the decision was made here. That is the king will be sent back to his game. And from now on, Tony and his sister are also a part of the team of agents. They are finally there, chosen for the Spy Kids. And with this, the story of this film, it also ends here.